I'd like to call the meeting to order for September 22nd, 2020. Would you please stand for a moment of silence? Thank you. Would you please join in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Trustee Sheets.
Here.
Here.
Trustee Good. Here.
Is our next resolution number 75? If we're on the same page. Or if I'm on your page.
Yes.
Okay. And we didn't get minutes.
No.
Okay.
I was having trouble getting them printed out.
All right. And we'll move on to our financial reports. I'll make a motion to pay our expenditures. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter.
Yes.
Trustee Good. Yes.
Okay. We'll move on to the Sheriff's Department report. Deputy Carter, happy birthday.
Thank you. Very good.
You want us to sing to you?
No, it's not do that. All right, this report's from September 8th to September 22nd. We've had 151 total calls of service. We had 6 reports made and 4 arrests made out of that time period. One drug-related offense was on Lambert Road on September 14th. We had 1 theft of a motor vehicle on Stall Road, September 18th. I had 1 theft reported on Lambert Road, also September 16th, and 1 weapon-related run on September. I'm continuing to come down the Lambert Road and see about the speeding. Same way with Gardner Road. I've actually sat there today and didn't get much going through Gardner Road. So that's kind of what I have as of today. If there's anything else you guys might have.
Where are we at with that cart?
The cart.
The cart.
You're talking about the speed or the speed sign. So after all the setup to come and bring it down to you guys, apparently there was a latch problem as far as hooking it up to the truck to bring it down. So I got maintenance on it.
Okay.
So I know seems like it's been putting off, but we're getting it there.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thanks. We'll move on to the road department. Robert?
Good evening. Chief, are there any speakers? Anybody else watching that?
Yes.
Is there a Dave Reuter or
Yep.
Nathan Ralph?
They're both of them.
Okay. They are my speakers for
They are
tonight.
your speakers.
Dave is with Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District, and Nathan is with Franklin County Health.
Dave and Nathan, can you hear us?
We can, or I can at least.
Okay, we can hear you as well.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
You are both unmuted, so you can speak freely.
Okay, thank you.
Nathan, do you want to go first or you want me to?
Well, it doesn't matter. I can go. Did you all receive the presentation that I had submitted on? It's a PowerPoint presentation. Did you see that?
No, not so much. I just printed it out. I didn't know it was a PowerPoint, so.
That's
Tell
fine.
me which page we're on and I'll hold it up.
That one. So more than anything, I wanted to discuss that we do have a very robust operational and maintenance program here in Franklin County, where we inspect our discharging septic systems on an annual basis to make sure that they're in compliance. These are aeration systems that discharge to either, basically streams or the MS4 storm water collection systems. And if those things are found to be not functional, we ensure that people bring those back into compliance. I think you have a page there that talks about we have 226 of those currently in Pleasant Township.
Yes.
We just wrapped up our our fiscal date is basically September 1 to August 31. As you can imagine, it's been an interesting year as everybody has experienced. We took some time off early on in the pandemic just to kind of refocus our efforts towards the virus. And we're not real anxious to have people going out to people's properties, but we started doing that again back in May. So everything was still looked at just with the idea of trying to minimize, personal contact. So there's another page there that has my contact information on it. We do have a dedicated phone line. It's 614-525-4787, which is HSTS. And then we also have an email that we get in public complaints. So beyond that, I guess if there are any particular questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or then we can move on to Mr. Reuter.
Anybody have any questions? All right.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
So my job is to kind of talk to you a bit about stormwater. That's the flip side of this. Thanks again for having us and letting us speak with you tonight. The stormwater permit, this is our chance to get out and talk to our elected officials about stormwater and the stormwater management in the county. So there is a new draft permit that is out that we just sent comments on. It's not approved yet. This is the end of our 5-year period and the beginning of the new permit. So the draft permit came out with some new changes into it. And a lot of that is based kind of on performance standards is what OEPA is kind of looking at. So we're looking at those closely and what they're wanting us to do. We'll see how many of them get through to the final permit, but we made comments on a few things relative to how it affects us as an MS4. Everybody's co-permittees. That's why we like to get out to all the townships and talk to them about stormwater and all of the minimum control measures in the permit. My job is to oversee that management of our county permit and make sure we get things like education, which this meeting here is a part of that goal. And so this will be reported as some of that education component to our elected officials. So I appreciate the time. Some of the specifics on the permit this year that we're looking at, salt storage on private properties is something they're keenly interested in controlling. And we have a real hard time with how exactly that's gonna take place. So we'll see if that makes its way through into the final permit. And I would offer up that scenario of, you've got the landscape firm that's stocking up for winter and they've got a salt pile in their yard. How do you control runoff from that salt pile and making sure that doesn't contaminate any aquifers on private properties? And we have kind of a hard time coming up with how exactly that gets enforced. So that's something that is in the works in the permit. Some of the other performance standards include some minor testing. I don't think we'll have a problem there with that. And the other aspect is from a municipality, they're looking at kind of the asset management. So a few years ago, we had staff. A lot of staff was out in the field looking at facilities, catch basins and that kind of thing, mapping those for our MS4 map and what do we have for facilities. So some of the performance standards are managing those facilities. How do we go about ensuring they're maintained, Outfalls are in stable condition. Those kind of things are coming up in the new permit, and they want to see progress towards maintaining those systems and how we do that. So again, that's something county engineers and we are looking at pretty intently on how to do that, but that might be something that will come down eventually into the townships a little more. I think that's about all I have. You got a couple of items there. One was the Stormwater Awareness Week, which is coming up in October. There was a resolution that we're handing out asking people to adopt as a way of kind of taking on some ownership of stormwater and how do we, and recognizing that and meeting some of those educational goals. So that's what the resolution is. You guys can take a look at that and see if you'd like to adopt that. It's becoming a statewide observance. We've got a couple of other districts involved. So we're really trying to push this as a larger regional event that everybody joins in on. Let's see what else. I think you got the flyer for Stormwater Awareness Week as well. Just some things that you can do. And some of the townships, things that they've done is if you've got a signboard, take notice of it that week and recognize it, something like that. I think we worked on your rain garden at the station there last year during Stormwater Awareness Week. So it's things like that where we can get the public involvement and the public education and participation going in a township setting as well. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I hope you all know where I'm at, but I'm at the district, so let me know if you have any questions. But again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thanks.
Does I have more?
Yep, you're on.
The project on Evans Drive, the tile's been installed, so the second half of that is finished except for final grade and sowing grass.
So I can move that to our resolved list
Yeah,
off your
Yes.
blue list.
yes, off my blue list. We installed a new catch basin on Neff Road, which was failing, and tried to build up the ditch a little bit to make it a little safer in that spot. We're running our second mower, which is the arm mower that reaches out to reach places that the rear mower cannot reach, just try to tidy things up. We had one burial, and I had a email from Sarah Fink at Public Health. Tomorrow, they are going to spray the southern part of the township for mosquitoes. They had one case of West Nile virus they found in the trap. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Well,
And Chief, you are up.
So far for the month, we're at 83 runs. It's about average for the year, month to month so far. The tanker's back in service. It's been repaired. We had that fuel leak on it. We had CPR drain in for clogging the shower room that we weren't able to get to on our own. Stove is back, but it's one of the burners. They were trying to clean it the other day and some parts on the burner got broke. They were attempting to take off a piece of the top of it with loosen it, and it was stuck, and they ended up twisting something, and parts ordered for that. The roof project we approved is scheduled to start on Thursday. So that should be hopefully done by the time we have our next meeting. It's not that you'll really be able to see a whole lot of it. And the fit tester we ordered has arrived. I'm working on programming and getting in service. Spectrum has given us a date to order numbers for the phone system, and that'll be October 7th. You guys kind of briefly discussed the voicemail thing. Randy, you'll talk to Joe about that?
Yep.
Okay. The electricians were in and started doing some of the touchless upgrades. They were here for about an hour and a half left and haven't been back since. So I'm not sure where that project's going. Steve Hager's been in and out a couple of times, but I'm not real, like I said, I'm not real sure where that's headed at this point. So I'm working on getting quotes and whatnot for the additional items, and you guys have the report that I gave you last night to peruse. I don't have any intentions on doing a whole lot with most of that tonight. It's just basically for your information. And as that money comes in and it's available to us, and we can decide what we're going to do with it. The ambulance committee has been working hard. We had Horton out today. They went and toured went and visited a couple departments that have different ambulances. So they get a pretty good idea of what's out there and what we can get. I hope to have those specs ready next month sometime to put out the bid. So I do have a couple of requests this evening. I need resolutions to accept the resignation of the following fire department personnel. First, we'll do Jarrell Jackson, effective October 1st, 2020. Jarrell's resigning to pursue other career opportunities.
Make resolution 75 to accept the resignation of Gerald Jackson. Do I have a second? Roll call.
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good? Yes.
Second resolution will be to accept the resignation of Joshua Mollahan, effective September 19th. He just really recently married, and spending time at home is probably more exciting than working in the fire department part-time. So he's full-time at Jackson, so he's decided to eliminate his part-time job at this point.
I'll make resolution 76 to accept the resignation of Josh Mollahan. Have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good? Yes.
The last one is to accept the resignation of Jason Adams, effective October 5th, 2020. Again, family growth and whatnot is keeping him from fulfilling his obligations here, and he just doesn't feel he can stay on the roster.
Tell him no.
Tell him no. He's been kicking this idea around for quite some time. Him and I have had multiple conversations over the last couple of years. He just realizes right now with his kids and family and stuff, he just doesn't have time. He knows all three of them know they're welcome back at any time that they're able. So, it is begrudgingly accepting this one.
Jason was a full-timer here. I'll make resolution 77 to accept the resignation of Jason Adams. Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Yes.
I would ask the board for resolution to purchase an additional 17 sets of turnout gear from All American Fire Equipment. The cost of $32,163.83. We'll pause for a moment. The funds for this purchase have been approved through the CARES Act money that we have received and will be receiving. We've already purchased 9 sets that will be also used with CARES Act money. Purchasing the additional 17 sets will keep us under the total amount from the single vendor of $50,000. So we don't have to put it.
I'll make resolution 78 to purchase 17 sets of turnout gear from All American Fire Equipment at a cost of no more than $32,163.83. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good? Yes.
Then the last thing I need tonight is just approval from the board to advertise for bids for the purchase of the radio equipment that we were awarded through the Assistance Firefighters Grant back in late July, early August. That was the first grant, if you recall, we received this year. The specs are in the final stages of being developed and should be ready to advertise between this meeting and next meeting. I'd like to get that project rolling. So I just basically, I don't know if I need a resolution or just approval from you guys to go ahead and do it.
I think it's okay to go ahead and do it.
Okay.
You don't need a resolution for that.
Thank you. And I didn't update our coronavirus statistics. I believe there's about 16,441 cases in the state of Ohio and like 3,200 and change cases in the county. We did order a sprayer that will disinfect, help us further disinfect the building. It's actually a backpack sprayer. This sprayer is actually designed for what we're doing. It will actually break the disinfectant we're using into smaller particles, and it's safer to use on the electronics and other devices that we have around here, so we can just continue to disinfect. So, and like I said, I'm working on some of the other projects that we have in mind for the CARES Act money. So other than that, unless you have anything for me, I don't have anything else.
I do.
Yes, sir.
Do they have a time frame on your roof for completion?
I think a week. What they're going to be up there.
Next, that will be October 1st. I'll have dumpsters coming in for the fall cleanup.
I think they'll be done by then. I'll be honest with you. They're coming in Thursday and they'll be gone by, I would think, midweek next week, unless something weird happens.
All right.
But I'll let them know that you're going to have dumpsters sitting right back here.
Okay.
So I don't think that'll interfere with anything because they can access the roof from other areas.
Okay.
It should be good. But thank you. I'll let them know.
Did you want to establish the lieutenant's promotional list?
Yes, we can do that. I didn't know if you want to do it or if that was something that you guys were going to do. But yes, I would like to do that since we conducted interviews last night. I would love to ask the board for a resolution to establish a lieutenant's list.
And I will make resolution 79 to establish the lieutenant's promotional list. How long will that be good for?
2 years.
For 2 years. Do I have a second?
A second.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunt?
Yes.
Trustee Good? Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Old business. We have an email from Mary Long with Swaco. We need to take action on a few things. Due by September 23rd, tomorrow, we need the best estimated number for carts eligible households and service plus extras. So she had us down after talking with local for 1,834 active customers. And I did not get a chance to recheck that number because there may be around 50 that are no longer cut off per James Weaver. So I don't know what she means by cut off.
I think that's when they didn't pay their bill. But I won't swear to it, but that's
Okay.
what I took it
I
as.
think that
I think you're right.
I think we'll order about 2,100. What do you guys think?
That sounds good to me because we're getting them at such a cheap price, as long as we can keep them here.
I'll look.
Be right around 250 extra.
Yes.
I wonder how high they stack.
Did they tell us 6 or 8?
They said, but I don't remember. I'm assuming they all in an enclosed semi, so.
Well, they wouldn't necessarily have to be stored inside, but they, since they're outside containers anyways.
It'd probably be less of an eyesore for the neighbors.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, if you could stack them 10 high. That's not very many stacks. Not very many stacks. Okay, shall we tell her 2,100?
What I think.
I think so too. Because the people that opt out, I'm sure we will get quite a few of them that want those once we get a price. Okay, and she wanted us to decide on the cart color, which I told her to go ahead and take whatever Whitehall took, so that one is answered. Because it's only 4 shades of blue. Provide the hot stamp information. The name as we want it on the cart. Just. Do you have any thoughts? Pleasant Township, Franklin County, Ohio, did what we see,
I think there was 2 lines.
okay. We'll do that if we can. Okay. 4, determine the staging sites for the cart. That's up to you.
Do we have to put addresses on them, or do they just say Pleasant Township?
Just say Pleasant Township.
And do we have to deliver them to people, or do they come and get them?
They will deliver them.
Oh, they will?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll
So they're
deliver
gonna pick them up,
everybody.
somebody's got to
Yeah,
bring them here, and then
yes,
somebody else picks them
yeah.
up from here. and
They'll be
delivers them?
delivered here and then
Okay.
they will deliver them.
I suppose this could be the staging site until they're delivered.
Okay, she wants
For
to know,
the short time being, we can stack them out back if needed.
so it's gonna be 2,100. And she said, determine the staging site for carts, blacktop parking lot, let me know any address where they can be set. So she's probably wanting specific information.
What's their delivery date, do you know?
No. Be like April of next year. I would,
Okay.
well, that's when they're going to, that's their goal to give them out to people, April.
I'd have to come up with a good staging site. I mean, at least 5373 Norton Road, but
Okay,
as to where they end up here, that's,
all right. Okay, and the printer-ready version of our community logo, I've got that on my computer. I'll just email it to her. And the community mailing list in Excel. So I emailed her and asked her, where do we get that? And she said SWACO or local waste should be able to provide it. So I emailed Ryan Jensen and he forwarded it on to James Weaver and he will get the list for us. And I would think once we get that list, that ought to tell us how many there are. Okay, and that's all due by tomorrow. And by the 25th, she wants the SWACO cart grant agreement signed with the community. Return as soon as possible before October 9th.
We don't meet between now and then, do we?
No,
I'm okay with authorizing you to
I am too.
review it and
Okay.
sign off on it. You're good with it?
I'm good with it.
If you have any questions, call us.
Should that be in form of a motion or just, what do you think?
Can make a motion if you want.
Okay. let's just-
I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to sign the SWACO cart grant agreement upon receipt.
I'll second that.
Do you want to add the local waste contract also?
Oh, yeah.
She wants that too. That was in a different email.
That would have been it. Okay, and a second motion to authorize the chair to sign the agreement with local waste once all changes requested were incorporated.
Is this one motion or 2 motions?
Should be two, I think, right? It's two
We
companies.
do too.
Two motions, you can only put one on the floor at a time.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought. Hold off on that second one.
Okay, so you're gonna make two separate motions to sign, to
Yeah, I
authorize
did the-
me to sign the
First one, Ed, you seconded it, right?
That
Okay.
is correct.
Okay,
roll call?
Trustee Sheets?
Yes,
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good?
yes. Now the second motion to authorize the chair to sign the agreement with local waste, once changes are incorporated.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Good?
Yes.
See if I can get a hold of him tomorrow to get that done.
We'll have the opt-out language in it.
Yes. Okay, and by October 9th, they need the formal order for carts. And that's all from Mary. And then on to, I had a phone call today from Jack Reynolds. And he called to let us all know that A7 Trucking has withdrawn their plans to move their business from Stall and Denton to Labor Road. And he had no other information what their plans were, if they plan to go forward at a later date, he didn't know. Okay, and do we need to continue our injured workers' salary continuation for another?
I think we just did that within the last,
It's
2 meetings.
for 45 days.
so we should be okay for a little while longer, I believe.
I have.
Well, 2 meetings ago would have been August 11th, and it's at 45 days or 45 work days?
45 days.
Calendar days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
calendar.
would be 43 days.
I'm not
Yes,
sure
time
if
flies when you're fun.
we're supposed to keep, I don't know off the top of my head, if we're supposed to just continue to keep doing that, or if we turn it over and let the BWC do it. I'm not 100%.
I have not a clue. Paul Care works on that.
Do you know if we should do that, Paul?
Do what I'm saying.
Do we have to keep doing that every 45 days?
I don't ever remember doing it before this time, but
Me neither, I've never done it.
yeah, I mean, with the other time we've had injured workers, I don't ever remember them having us do all that.
I think we need to see guys who care works on that one.
But I haven't
We need to
heard
keep doing that or
anything.
not.
We did that on AWS.
Should we make a resolution just in case if needed? Okay, I'll make resolution number 80.
83. That's the two to authorize you.
Those were motions.
Those were motions.
Oh,
Those were
okay.
wrestled.
Resolution 80 for, if needed, for the salary continuation for the injured worker we have for another 45 days. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets, trustee Hunter,
Yes.
trustee Good.
Yes.
And then on to, anybody else have old business? On to new business. I put copy of part of the bylaws for the Big Derby Accord Advisory Panel. Years ago, we appointed Greg Hart as the current member, but we have the right to appoint an alternate to the Big Derby Accord Advisory Panel. And Paul Denton who's with us tonight, has agreed to take that spot. And I know that Greg told me he doesn't attend very many of them. So maybe our alternate may be going to more than he thinks. So we thank you. Do you have any questions before we make it official?
No, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you stepping forward.
My best to keep both the trustees and the residents informed. That's the count.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will make resolution 81 to appoint Paul Denton to be the Pleasant Township alternate to the Big Darby Accord Advisory Panel. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Thank you.
Will you communicate that to the accord body, or should I reach out as well?
It says that we write a letter and send it to their secretary. So I will take care of that. I will. Thank you. Any other new business? Announcements. Don't forget the fall cleanup is October 2nd and 3rd. Moving on to Paula.
Okay, I received our information for our official certificate of estimated resources from the county. I will copy that to you. And then I also have received a copy of the annual resolution accepting the amounts and rates. I will copy that to you, and you can do it at next meeting. I just got that. Rural Zoning Commission did have a meeting scheduled for September 17th. The Board of Zoning Appeals had a meeting that was scheduled for yesterday, sorry. And then the Tech Review Committee had a meeting scheduled for the 22nd, but that has been canceled. Let's see. I received some information from CareWorks on our injured employee sorry. Some notices of hearings, but they had also emailed those, and I think I had forwarded those to you guys. And then the Ohio Township Association sent out a packet of information on the CARES Act funds. An email from them on the CARES Act fund. MORPC is announcing the availability of money for environmental conservation in Franklin County through the Clean Ohio Conservation Program. The insurance broker, Bruno Flowers, sent out information on their representatives. 3 or 4 different newsletters from Franklin County Soil and Water. Several emails from Ohio Deferred Comp, just newsletters and updates. SWACO sent out an email on a lasting impact on Save More Than Food campaign. SWACO, Westerville partnered to help residents safely dispose of unwanted yard chemicals. Several emails from worker comp on the COVID, and several emails from police and fire on insurance options for people that are retiring. A newsletter from Otana, and pretty much everything has to do with virus-related updates, suggestions, that kind of thing. So that's all I have.
We also got a notice from the Franklin County Township Association. They are pleased to host a free online township planning and zoning practice training course on October 15th. That introduces 2 township elected officials planning and zoning staff, members of zoning commission, boards of zoning appeals, and architectural review boards, the topics of local government planning and zoning concepts and overall governance. The course will run from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The purpose of the course is to learn how township planning and zoning are used as practical tools. This course will explore topics from the perspective of what local elected and appointed leaders and staff need to know to effectively guide a township, navigate codes and laws, and promote public engagement and civil discourse. Topics will focus on real-world relevance and prioritizing community investment in residents and businesses. The online course will be taught by following panel: Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Franklin County Economic Development Planning; Pete Griggs, Rochus Johnson and Griggs; Jack Reynolds from Smith and Hale; Joe Smiley, Development Director of Perry Township. And that will be a Zoom meeting. And then they sent the information how to get on the Zoom meeting. And it says, please note the annual township meeting for January has been canceled due to COVID. So
Is anything said about the winter conference?
I haven't heard anything about that. Have you? Since we found Ready Rock at the winter conference, I have a whole new view of the winter conference. They saved us a great deal of money, and and our road department, who worked very hard and went above and beyond. I can't say that enough.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
I don't have anything.
Anybody else have anything? And I will move to adjourn.
A second.
Roll call.
Trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Hunter,
Yes.
trustee Bill.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned, 8:45.